check. notice. Mm-hmm. All right, welcome everyone to today's State Cup uh match here. This is I am the coach Brian Wilson. I am going to be your commentator giving you analysis today. and we are in first place. We are the Michigan Monsters. And this is our streaming channel, Michigan Chess Association. Make sure you check out all past videos on michess.org and any information about upcoming tournaments. We are playing today Maryland. Michigan Monsters versus Maryland. Last week we had a dead draw with Maine. Came down to Ivanov or Advaita Rajanesh, who saved the draw there. And now we're playing the Maryland chess state team. And they're represented by, the first board is Josh Downey, who's 2,131. Second board is Mayor Locker, 2,044. Third board is Douglas Malcolm, and he is 2,031. And their fourth board is Vishnu Shrikam, and he is 1939. Representing the Michigan Monsters, we have last week, Mark Hyman took a break. So now our top player, Mark Hyman, FIDE Master, is back. He's rated 2485. But another break was given to one of probably the MVP of the, even though there was a big blunder last week by James Canty. So last round wasn't James Canty's best week, but he has a break this week, so he can come back re-energized in our next match. And replacing him on the second board is Tony Nichols. And then at the third board is Clara McGrew from the talented McGrew family. And our fourth board is Devin Kamenaris. And all of these players are over 2,000. Clara McGrew and Tony Nichols are over 2,100. And let's get started here. I want to make sure that all the games are updated here. Remember, guys, you can make sure that you like and subscribe to this channel. Share this channel with your friends. This is our YouTube channel, Michigan Chess Association. Shout out to our captain and our Michigan president, Jeff Aldridge, for putting this together at the State Cup. There's no better time to play chess during since it's quarantine and COVID is out there. Hey, it doesn't affect chess players as much as it would someone playing sports, because we don't have to be around each other to play chess with each other. We have these online platforms to use. And so was the inception of the State Cup, was because of the quarantine and the coronavirus. So hopefully everybody is being safe, and now you can stay at home and hey, enjoy some chess from the state's top players. Now, how this goes is each state has to keep the team average under 2,200. So that is some strategy into doing that. If you have someone like we have Mark Hyman that's almost 2,500, that means you're going to have to take something off the bottom. But that gives players chance to prove themselves against higher players, and we have had that happen, whether it's Ivanov Rajanesh or Jesse Wren, Advaita Rajanesh, and the players that we've had on the bottom board, they have definitely performed. So first, let's look at our top board. Squat to Depth is our top board, and what's happening here is our top board plays their last board in the first round of games. And once it gets to, every player plays 4 games, and once you get to your last game, that means you will play the other coordinating board. That means if you're a second board, you're going to play their second board in the last game. So right now, Mark Hyman is playing their last board here. And looks like we see a King's Indian defense. White has this big pawn center. But we see a Bishop G4 version of the King's Indian defense. Usually in the King's Indian, you will see that bishop lay on C8, and then you get the F5 push, because when the center is closed, you want to attack in the direction where the pawns point. But Mark Hyman is using a different variation, and looks like he did this just to get control over the D4 square. And black is looking really good with that control over the D4 square, by the way. And Mark Hyman has over a 2-minute lead already in time. So you see that this is a good selection for an opening, because it doesn't look like white is familiar with what Mark Hyman is playing here, and that's going to hurt him on the clock. These games are 15 minutes, which makes this a rapid league, rapid tournament, rapid games. And so time is important. You have enough time to play good chess, but it's low enough to where tactics matter. Anything can happen when you're dealing with 15 minutes. There is a 2-second increment, which means time is added on every time a move is made. Shout out to everybody who's watching this live stream. Feel free to leave any comments in the chat. Any questions you have, I will answer them live on the spot if I can. Let's go to the second board here. This is Tony Nichols. Okay, so we were not on his game. Some of these we have to catch up with their games here. Okay. Right, so here this is Science Squares, and this is a new player to Michigan. This is Devin Jimenez, who moved here recently from New York. And Devin right now I believe that Devin has some online stuff that he does on with chess online, and I'm going to get that information to you guys before tonight's live stream is over. But right now we're looking at Devin's game. Looked like this was English. He's playing what I call the Yasser Seirawan variation. He plays Rook B1, and so he's going to play this B pawn up, have like this minority attack with the B pawn and create some targets. You figure like the bishop that's on G2 combined with the rook on B1, you can create a lot of targets on the long diagonal and the B file. So that's what he's looking to do. He has a 2-minute time advantage now. But Science Squares is playing black's top player. Science Squares is playing black's top player now. So if Science Squares can score against black's top player, that'll put us in a really, really good position. So this game we're looking at Claire McGrew. She's rated over 2,100, and she's playing IWK. I don't know which one of the players she's playing right now. I believe it's Mayor Locker, I believe. Sure. But you see that she has well, looks like black is doing okay in this position. Black was able to get in C5. Black is a tempo behind in development, hasn't castle to develop the bishop, but the bishop can go right here to B7 and get castle. I think black has a decent position. I think black already probably is equal. But the player is going to look to control the E file. Maybe he's looking at the move bishop to B5. That could be moved. But I don't think black has any troubles at this point. And this started as a, let's see how this started here. Oh, this was a Lapin Sicilian. And she plays bishop B3 and a Lapin Sicilian here. sacrifices the D pawn. He doesn't take it. And so she was trying to get a development lead. Now, I will say this. Claire had a really good game last week with a development lead. So already I see that her style of giving her opponent a develop or taking a development lead when she has white has done good for her, especially in 2100. She knows how to use the development lead, giving up sacrificing a pawn for some development, some material, making the game imbalanced in a dynamic way. Let's go to Tony Nichols. Mr. Nichols, I believe, is from Ann Arbor. Pretty sure. He is also a coach in Ann Arbor. And I think he has a couple team state championships there. Now, Mr. Nichols is usually a F5 player, a Stonewall player. Let's see how this started here. It was a Stonewall, and immediately that line E4 was played here. Now, the funny thing about this, my son also plays the Stonewall as well. And this is a position that my son, actually Brian Wilson Jr., who is rated just below 2000, he had this position in the Simo against Nakamura. And actually what he did is he played Bishop G7, allowed H5, and then he played D5 and allowed H6, and he was able to defeat Nakamura in that Simo. Of course, Nakamura playing a Simo is not the same as him playing someone one-on-one in a rated game, but still, Nakamura is Nakamura. And so that is, I wonder if Bishop G7 and allowing him to play H5 is not better. But he plays H6, and Tony Nichols looks like he knows his position, but I will say this, I do not like, I wouldn't want to keep my king in the center, but it looks like Tony Nichols is going to be able to go to an endgame, and we have to trust that Tony Nichols knows this endgame. Hopefully he does. And right now, Smorgasbord 69 is thinking. Shout out to everyone that's in the chat. Welcome to the State Cup. I am Coach Brian. This is the live stream for the Michigan Monsters State Chess Team. So you see Tony Nichols traded the queens in the center. And Tony Nichols is hoping that the bishop pair is going to give him an in-game advantage here. But right now, Mr. Nichols' pieces are just not coordinated at this point. I guess I would anticipate Bishop E7, protecting the pawn. I was looking at maybe F5, knight check, and king E7, but I guess he has knight D5. So there's no trap piece there. So he does go Bishop E7. So Nichols is going to try to work these bishops. Remember, when we have the bishop pair, we want to put the bishops on diagonals where pawns don't block their pathway. We would love to have those bishops side by side to control both colors of a diagonal pointing at a certain area of the board. So Tony Nichols is going to have to work that out because right now he's down in development. And so I think white is a little bit better here. And Nichols still has some work to do to get out of this. All right. Let's go back to our top board. Squat to depth. Mark Hyman has more than double the time of his opponent here, which is Vishnu. Shrikam has more than double the time. But I will say this, Vishnu has double rooks here, pointing to G7. Now for this, I mean, I think white's position is not that bad at all. Mark Hyman is going to have to really be careful here because there's a lot of pressure being put. But Mark Hyman, actually, I will say he plays defense pretty well. So now White is thinking whether he should sacrifice his pawn and continue to be aggressive here. I'm not sure if he should allow it. I don't know how he's going to put more pressure on the G7 square. It looks like Mark is okay now, but the thing is Mark is defending here. He has a knight on G8, rook all the way on A8 doing nothing, and this rook on F7 is just playing a defender. But he can't take this much time. I mean, here I would just probably play B3 if I couldn't see a breakthrough right now. But this is one of those positions that White does have the better of this position. Wow, so he decides to move the king over to B1. I'm going to anticipate B takes C4. Why not? And move like rook to B8. So he played rook B8 first. So his plan is to attack down the B file. This is very interesting here. This is a very interesting game here. Now, list 85 is taking a lot of time, so I would, with that time disadvantage, is when you get to a critical position like this, it's going to be more moments where you're going to need your time. And right now, he's using up a lot of time. All right, so he tries to open up, or White takes on B5 so he doesn't get the file open, but I know B4 is coming quickly. That's going to push the knight backwards. You're talking about B4, C4, and C3, just opening up some lines around this king. Maybe he would play C4 and then B4 and C3. So this is Mark with this, and this bishop on G7 is pretty sneaky on this long diagonal. You got to watch that bishop as well. So Mark Hyman, initially you look at this position, double rooks on the G file, the king is in the corner. Here he plays queen C2. Don't know what that is for. It looks like maybe after B4 he's planning to play knight A4 and kind of stop the opening of the B file. And maybe that's why queen to C2 was played, but I don't know. Let's go to the second board here. This is the game with Tony Nichols. This is Tony Nichols is from our Michigan Monsters. Nichols has a pretty much 30-second lead, so time is not that important. There's not a big time deficit here. Material is even, but there is an imbalance of 2 bishops and 2 knights, but White has fully developed and has a space advantage with the D4 pawn. And Black is trying to figure out how to develop his bishop and his knight in the correct way. So this is gonna be a hard one for Tony Nichols here. I still think White is better. He's gonna try to figure out how to use those bishops like he should use those bishops. But right now, there's no way to get them open at this point. I guess he could play the move D6 right now, but that does make the bishop on E7 worse. That's what he's thinking about. C6 is too slow trying to play D5 because D5 will come. Knight C6. This knight C6 is possible because if D5 you have knight E5 maybe. So he decides to get the bishop developed by putting it on the b7 square. The move bishop d5 is you're going to get hit with c6. So that makes some sense for Tony Nichols to put the bishop on this really long diagonal. That's pretty good here. Let's go to Checkmate 101. This is Clara McGrew from the talented McGrew family. Thanks everyone for joining us here at the live stream on this chat. I am the coach Brian Wilson, and we are the Michigan Monsters. We are going against Maryland state chess team right now. And right now we're looking at the game between Clara McGrew and her opponent from Maryland. Actually, let me make sure I know the opponent from Maryland is... Okay, got it. So her opponent right now is Mayor Locker. Mayor Locker is her opponent. And she tried to use a development lead by sacrificing a pawn in the beginning. Black did not go for that. And right now, I believe Black has fully equalized in the opening. And now it's all about the planning. You see that Clara has almost pretty much a 30-second advantage in the time. Time is getting low, so things are going to start to get exciting. I wonder if she will look for the move knight to g5. Would that do anything? Maybe not, because of g6. And knight takes e6 probably not do enough. Don't think so. The reason why the knight on g5 cannot be taken because a queen takes h7 checkmate. So that does put 3 attackers on the h7 square. But I guess a simple g6 stops that. She does go knight g5. Wow, she goes for it. I wonder what her plan was when g6 happens. So g6, maybe she's planning on moving the queen probably to e3 and then going knight to e4. Maybe that's what she's planning on doing. I do not believe knight takes e6 is good enough. Don't believe that. Well, wait a minute now. Wait, hold on. Before I say that, knight takes e6, you probably can't. Can you even take that? Yeah, I guess you can take that. So check here, and then rook f7, and then, yeah. So that's not going to be good enough at all. He has to figure out something right now. So her plan is to go queen e3 and then knight e4 and then threaten the knight f6 or knight d6. So there's 2 weak squares, dark squares that knight can go to, d6 or f6. So I believe that's a good plan by Clara here. She provoked a weakness on the king side, and then what you do is you take advantage of the squares that are no longer protected. Side squares, Devin Caminares, newcomer to Michigan, moved here from New York. And man, I don't like what's happening here. Do not like what's happening here. Science squares looks like this attack here is bringing some trouble. First of all, there is a bishop takes g3 threat. Now, I guess maybe it's not as bad because you do have knight takes d5. This threat is bishop takes check, king over. Oh, but then you have knight to f2 check, and you have to take that. So maybe it's all about this g3 pawn. So he's trying to figure out if he could. Now you can't defend that pawn. If you make the mistake of going knight e5, then there's going to be queen takes g3, and that looks very bad. Don't want to do that. So he does go knight takes d5, so he does give up. Maybe his plan actually is to sacrifice the rook for the knight, give up the exchange, and in the compensation for the exchange is this nice knight that's on d5 for the moment. There goes there. Okay, so he did plan that. There is a weak e2 pawn threatened. He has to deal with that e2 pawn, I think, because knight to c7 is nothing, with rook takes e2 threatening the queen and the bishop on g2. He's going to have something to think about, but it's only 4 minutes left, and these games are coming out to the wire, so we're going to cycle through a little bit. Like predicted, Liszt had the time was so low there. Now he is down 7 minutes on the clock, and he's also down 2 pawns at the moment. And I'm pretty sure that was lost because of time pressure. He's trying to make the most out of these 2 files he has with the rooks, but even with 2 seconds increment, he doesn't have enough time. It looks like Mark is going to win this, but he's the higher rated player here. He's supposed to win this game here. I'm gonna predict maybe d5. He does play d5. Now, the quality of move that white is going to find during this time trouble is not going to be that great. Maybe a move like knight to, oh, can't play. Yeah, maybe you could play knight to g6. But he just goes for the trade instead. Makes sense. Maybe c4 here. Or knight to g6. But looks like Mark is going to go ahead and win this game. Let's go to Tony Nichols here, who has a almost a 2-minute lead up on Smorgasburg 69. He figured out a way to develop his bishop. Now he has the bishop pair here. Smorgasbord is thinking. But I would say Smorgasbord is still up in development. A big development lead. The knight on b8 hasn't moved. The king can't castle. The rook on a8 is stuck. White is still better here, but white is down 2 minutes. That's the problem. Checkmate 101. This game, she is down a minute. This is Claire McGrew, who is checkmate 101. She has white. We talked about this position before. I thought that the idea was to go knight to e4, but instead, okay, so now h6 was played. Wow, I wonder if she's looking at knight takes e6 and then bishop takes. Is that no? Because queen g5. So that's what she's looking at here. She's looking at knight takes e6, takes e6, and then bishop takes g6, but queen g5 stops the discovery check. So not as good here. But I will say Claire is taking advantage of all the holes around Black's king. So Claire is a very aggressive player, but she's using time trying to calculate those tactics. And so right now she's down a whole minute. We'll come back to that game. Science Squares and net income. Remember, Science Squares is playing Maryland's top player here. And at the moment, Science Squares is actually losing by a rook. How did that happen here? We were just at, let's go back a little bit. So he played rook to b2, trying to protect this here. Knight to c7, but oh, that was just a blunder. The bishop takes c7, and that's just a big blunder there. And this is just a losing position. Oh, wow. And science squares. Yep, and that's a loss. That's a losing position here. Queen takes, and then queen f1 check, and that's going to be game over with queen to g1 and queen takes. So we get a loss there. So Marilyn is up 1 point. Go back to Claire's game. IWK is up 1 minute. Claire is expanding on the queen side. One plan that Claire probably could have thought about a little bit more is the 3-2 advantage on the queen side. That could have been something that she could have put some rooks behind and try to create a passer in this middle game. Still not too late. Wonder if she's gonna try knight f4, maybe, or a move like queen c3, which will help her get her pass pawns going. Okay, so she plays rook to d3. Rook to d3. So she's looking to double the rooks on the d file here. But right now, Claire is down a whole minute. Science Squares lost for us already. This is not me. We still have this going. Tony Nichols is up 1 minute. Everybody, thanks for joining the chat. This is Michigan Chess Association. This is the State Cup. This is not me. There's a knight on d6 covering so many good squares. White is better here. Tony Nichols is going to have to find out how to untangle himself. He can't play king c7 because of the fork on knight e8. The rook e8 check is threatened already, which will be a checkmate with rook c8. So checkmating 2 is threatened here. Rook e8, king c7, and rook c8 checkmate. So he has to do something here. So he plays, okay, so he plays rook to e7. Nice move. But the knight on f4 is pinned. He's trying to make use of the bishop here, but right now he's just so far behind in development. But he's up in time. Let's go back to Claire's game here. Now IWK is drilled down to 48 seconds here. Both these games are going to be down to the wire. Okay, so he plays a6 here, and I believe Claire, the easy plan is just to get these pawns pushed. Okay, so she trade. Oh, you know what? That actually was not a bad move. Wait, what happened here? Wait, when she, okay. So, all right, there we go. Knight f4, here's a queen here. Now, would she trade here? I would not trade here. I would keep the pieces on the board here. Maybe queen e3. I liked queen e3, threatening b6. She has to watch her back rank here. e5, knight 2, or maybe knight h3. And if you play queen c1, she has rook d1. So she should be okay here, even though I don't like the knight h3 move. But right now, she's up in time. He only has 5 seconds left. Oh, she gives up the queen. Oh, yes. He blunders the queen there. And this is just mop-up duty now. This is just a mop-up duty now. And this is going to be it. They're going to win this. Let's go back to, this is not me. This is, oh, and Tony Nichols is up big time here. 47 seconds to 5 seconds here. I like how he just solidifies the position here. Knight is coming here. Maybe, oh, I thought maybe knight to c4 was a good move. Knight c4 right now is a good move. You pick up a3 pawn. Can you get away with taking the a3 pawn? I think you can. There it goes. Now back to, yep. Tony Nichols should win this game. 6 seconds left for Smorgasbord 69. I love how he activates his rook here. Now you step up with the king. There we go. Now it's going to be a knight versus bishop. He's trying to create a pass pawn with the 3 versus 2 here. Now a pass pawn will come here on the G file. Tony Nichols is he's going for the B4 pawn now. He made it a little bit harder than it probably should have been. Now bishop to, and that's going to, oh no, he can't take the b5 pawn because of the fork. He pushed that dark square, so now this should be all we should have it here. Now we need to just cover the light squares. Checkmate did win that game. If we win this game, that means we will be up. Already we're up 2-1. If we win this game, that'll be 3-1. And to win 2 games in these matches is really big because that doesn't happen often. All Tony has to do is just use his time. Watch out for stalemate tricks. And here comes the queen. There you go. So Tony Nichols wins the game here. So does Clara McGrew. Science Squares loses to their top board, so that's 1 game for them. But our top board wins his game. And so we have 3-1 in this round. That's a good round for the Michigan Monsters. Thanks everybody for joining the chat. Remember, if you have any questions or anything you want to talk about, any variation you want to look at, any game you would like to see, leave a comment in our chat. All right. We're going to update this score here. So in that round, we won 3 games to 1. So that's a big round for us. And since now I have experience on seeing how close rounds are, we have 2 ties, 1 with New Jersey and 1 with Maine. A 2-point round is a big round at the State Cup. So for us to have something like that is a big deal. Let's see if we can repeat it in our next round. We have 3 more rounds of games. Thank you for joining us here, the Michigan Chess Association YouTube channel. Make sure that you subscribe, share the videos. You can comment. You can find all chess information in Michigan Chess on Michigan Chess Association website, michess.org. That's right, Jeff. 3-1. Good games, guys. Good games. That is a 3-1 lead there by us in this round. Us is Michigan Monsters. That's who us. All right. I believe the next games are pretty much underway. There's a little bit of break in between, but not much. So the game is Science Squares versus IWK right now. And let's go. Let's make sure we have all the games updated here. All right, so the first game, we looked at our first board, Mark Hyman. And he started up with E4, and now we have one of the greatest openings ever is the Ruy Lopez. And looks like we're going to go into a closed Ruy Lopez here. And Mark Hyman plays A4 right away. And so we're still in deep theory with that game. This is not me. Our second board, that is Tony Nichols. And his game started with the bird, which is the stone or Dutch defense with white. Tony Nichols is a Dutch expert. I like the move A4. Usually you see D5. A4 is almost always a good move. And right now, Mr. Nichols is thinking here. You see that he has this good control over the E5 square and two pieces in development. Now he's developed his king side completely. And he might want to get developed a little bit more than he did his last round, because that round he was behind in development, but figured it out. So next we have net income versus checkmate. And this game, this is also a Dutch defense. So we're getting a lot of Dutch defenses here, but this is a classical Dutch here. And here white goes for a E4 push, and white has this really good space advantage here. But black should have enough resources to break down the space. Remember, when you are going against a space advantage, it is up to you to make it, to attack that space. Because if you let that space survive and stay the whole game, then you pretty much are going to get squoze and your position gets worse. Your pieces start going to the rim. Pieces go backwards. You don't want that to happen. So you have to attack that space before it gets worse. If space is like quicksand. If your opponent has a big space advantage, it's almost like the worse you struggle, the more you struggle, the worse it gets for you. Right now, Claire McGrew has the bishop pair. The center is actually locked here, so we don't know if these bishops are going to be any good here. So like the bishop on e7 is a bad bishop. Usually when you have a bishop like this, you want to get the bishop outside the pawn chain, moves like bishop g5. But I think that trading this dark square bishop will make your dark squares around your king a little bit weaker than they should be. If you have a bishop like this, you want to move the pawns from in front of that bishop, which you cannot do at this time. Or you want to move the bishop outside the pawn chain or trade it for a piece of equal value. Right now, Claire is going to have to figure that out. Time is pretty much even. White does have the space advantage and access to this e4 square. So that's a big square for a knight. So I think white is slightly better here, a little bit better of development, and a good square for his knight on e4. So let's go down to Science Squares, who is Devin Camaneris. And he lost his last game to Maryland's top player. And right now he has black. And already we see opposite side castling game here. Opposite side castling. Devin actually plays bishop to. I wonder. This looks like this was a Sicilian defense. Maybe that's what it looks like, or a Caro-Kann. But we'll go back through the opening. But look, he's threatening to take the knight. Now Devin does have the pair of bishops, but he would rather double the pawn structure here on f3 than keep those bishops right now. But when you have a development league like Devin has, you want to look for aggressive moves, and bishop to g4 is aggressive. You're saying to white, if you castle, I will take a pawn. Are you willing to part with that pawn? If so, I'm ready to take it. So it's going to put pressure on white, and white is down almost 4 minutes down. So that's gonna also put pressure on white as well. Thanks everybody for joining us here. This is the Michigan Chess Association YouTube channel. Make sure you share, like, subscribe, talk about this to your family, whoever you know. This is the State Cup. We have a state chess team, and guess what our chess team is? We are first place. Guess what we are called? We're called the Michigan Monsters. You see our logo. You see our players right there. We have Mark Hyman, Tony Nichols, Devin Kameneris, and Claire McGrew today. We have almost 20 players. Those players will switch from time to time. That decision of who will play is made by our captain and our Michigan Chess Association president, Jeff Aldrich. Shout out to Jeff Aldrich for putting this together and giving us such a strong team. All right. So that's Devin Kameneris. He is twisting the screws on his opponent here. Squat to death. Depp had a pretty convincing victory the last round. I think it was some pressure on him, but now he has the white pieces, and we are playing a Ruy Lopez where Mark Hyman, he's playing a D3 Ruy Lopez, which now is in fashion by the top grandmaster in the world, playing D3 instead of C3 first and then D4. And I think in these positions, you get kind of like the Italian game or Gucco piano positions with the D3 Ruy Lopez. Still a lot of not as much theory as the other lines. That's why the top players are playing this right now. Look at this nice bishop that gets to stay on this A2 G8 diagonal, which normally wouldn't be the case in the main lines of a closed Ruy Lopez. And Mark Hyman goes for center control. He's attacking the E5 pawn. Notice that it's bishop versus bishop. This bishop on E7 compared to the bishop on C1 isn't as good. White has a space advantage. So I think white is a little bit better. And look at that big time advantage white has. 6 minutes time advantage there. And that is going to be a big factor, you know, in this game like it was in Mark's last game. Let's go to Tony Nichols. He plays the Dutch defense with both colors. It doesn't matter. You know it's coming. But Tony is an expert at it. And look at his position here. He goes king to H2. He wants to get off of that diagonal, the H1, A8 diagonal, where the bishop on B7 is on. He has the control over the D4 square. That is a nice square for a knight, if he can have that. Put that there. Actually, I think he can go right here because after queen c6, I don't see a discovery here. So I think knight d4 is a good move. Why not? That kicks the... Oh, but I see the queen is actually attacking the a4 pawn. Ah, I see. And so Tony Nichols is going to have to think about this. Time is pretty much even. So Tony Nichols has something to think about here. Should he play b3? He's going to take away some influence over the d4 square because I know he was betting on playing c3 and sticking a knight there on d4. But does he want to hang this pawn on a4? So he has to think about that. All right. Claire McGrew, who won her game last round. She played also a Dutch defense as well. I think that white has a really good position. This is like the best position you can have against the Dutch because the control over the e4 square is in white's hands. So you can see a knight going to that square, maybe even knight to g3 or castle knight g3 and then knight e4, and those knights are going to dominate on that e4 square. Claire's trying to think about the best way to develop. I don't see anything wrong with bishop to f5, developing the bishop with a tempo. Maybe she's looking at a6 and b5. I don't know, but this knight on a6 can come back to c7 maybe. But I think bishop to b5 and probably knight a6 or knight d7. So she's thinking about how to develop the rest of her pieces. And then science squares here. He had a development lead, so let's go back and see what did he do with this development lead. I was very interested to see what did he do. Now, remember, when we have a development lead, we want to do our best to put pressure on the opponent. Now, white is one move away from castling. Is there something that we can do to stop the castle? I think knight d4 is okay because the discovery doesn't work because there's knight takes c2 check. But I do think that after knight to d4, there is queen b3 or queen a4. Oh, but you have bishop takes. You have bishop takes c3. I'm not sure. So knight d4 looks really good, but instead he plays bishop. Oh, he plays bishop c5, and that was just an easy castle. I don't know what his plan was after that, but that was pretty easy. Maybe his plan is he's saying that this king over here, with my pieces aiming at it, I'm going to have an easy attack. I am not sure. Oh, wait a minute. That's what he was planning on. He was actually planning on playing knight to b4, which double attacks the queen and the bishop. That was an excellent plan there. Excellent plan. I wonder, will he return the favor with knight to d5? You take, we take. That's probably what's going to happen. He's going to go knight to d5. We take, you take, he takes, but then we take the bishop. Can you get out? You can't get out. So knight d5 could be the response here. But I guess there is a rook takes d3. So maybe knight d5 has to be thought about, but maybe some thinking has to be done here with knight d5. But if you don't do something, you're going to just lose the bishop on d3. And Devin, what a move there. Knight b4. Just have to watch these. Man, you really have to watch this pin on your king. But knight d5 could be it. That could be a move. All right, so squat to death. We're looking really good in these games. Squat to death is more than half, has more than twice the amount of time as Smorgasbord 69. He has control over the d5 square. I'm gonna predict that he's gonna be playing e5 pretty soon. Instead, he moves the rook off of the e1 square because of the bishop c3 threat. I was wondering, what if he played e5 here? That looks like a pretty decent move, but maybe he wants to milk his space advantage a little bit more. Remember, guys, when you have a space advantage, it's usually a good idea to avoid exchanges, because the space advantage takes away the best squares from your opponent's pieces. Like, for instance, this knight went to, it goes to f8. It didn't go to any advanced squares. And now the bishop on f4 goes to a better square. That's how it goes when the space advantage is there. I'm going to anticipate the move knight to g6. Maybe the plan is to go to e5 with the knight. But Squat to Death is milking a space advantage here. Has really good pieces. This is better for white. Back to Tony Nichols' game here. This is the game that had the most difficulty, I believe. You see this knight that's on c3. I don't believe this knight can actually stay there much longer, but I believe black's position is really good here. The rooks are not coordinated. There's a knight on c3 that we're going to have to deal with pretty soon. There's also a bishop a6 threat. I guess you can get out of that with rook to d4, maybe. Maybe you can get out of that with rook to d4. But this is a position I believe black is comfortable with here. Very comfortable. So Tony Nichols is going to have another barn burner here. And we'll come back to that game. That game is going to last. So Checkmate 101 is Clara McGrew. She is actually down 2 minutes here, trying to figure out how she's going to develop here. And I do not understand why she's taking so much time in this position. This position, we left this position not too long ago. I wonder if she's even, her internet maybe have lost connection or something. Thanks everybody for joining the chat here. This is the State Cup, Michigan Monsters versus Maryland. We are watching the Clara McGrew. This is Clara McGrew versus, make sure that Clara McGrew is playing Josh Downey here. And she has went into the think tank. And finally, no, she doesn't make a move. What's happening here? I don't know what's happening in Clara's game. The time is switching back and forth. It's being very weird. So we'll come back to that game. Science Squares has a 5-minute lead. What happened here? So, knight d5 was played, but Science Squares sacks his exchange. Sacks exchange on that knight. Oh man, this is going to be pretty good. How about rook g5? Is that possible, or should we just, or maybe we should just take this here? No, maybe taking here. I think you could play this move b5. Now, guys, tell me, am I wrong here? What happens if we play the move b5 here? You can't take it because the bishop takes. Oh, never mind, because rook hits our queen too. So maybe we don't want to do that. Nope. So here he just goes rook takes d3, and I guess his plan is after queen c5, he's gonna go knight to c6. And Devin will be just up, what, a piece? Yeah. He'll be up a piece here. Clean piece. Up in time. And that is what happened. We have a knight to c4. We're threatening. He's threatening knight d6. No, there's no threat there. Maybe knight to a5 or e5. There's no threat there. So Devin is winning this game here. Let's go back to Checkmate. I still don't understand what's happening with Checkmate and net income. Very weird. Yeah, Adam, I seen that b5 move, but the problem, Adam, with the b5, let's go back to that game as Adam Masick comments on the move b5 in the Devin game. Problem with b5 is after b5, queen takes b5, we go bishop takes f2 check, rook takes f2, and we take the queen, but he takes our queen too. And we take the rook, he takes our rook. So we don't get anything out of it because the rook is, after the trade, the rook is attacking our queen. So it's not as good as we hoped on that, in that variation. Shout out to Adam Masick, a faithful watcher of the Michigan Monsters here at the State Cup. I don't know what's happening with net income and Claire McGrew. I have no idea what's happening in that game. Looks like the moves are not being played, but Tony Nichols, I guess bishop a6 actually happened. And I was wondering if that would have been a move here. Tony Nichols plays bishop e3, rook to f2, and then rook to c8. And looks like he's trying to put pressure on the pinned knight here. Looking for a place to put this bishop. Or does he want to keep the bishop here? He probably should. So maybe I would actually go bishop to g1. So he gives up the bishop here. I think knight takes e3, queen takes e3, and then bishop to c5 is a good move by black here. I don't know if I would have gave up the bishop here in this position. Those bishops would have been very good on that long diagonal. Okay, back to squat to depth. This is our top player. And again, he's up by so much time. Smorgasbord is actually down 2 pawns, but look at the time advantage here. 10-minute lead in time. And you just can't survive using that much time against FIDE master Mark Hyman. And Mark Hyman should go ahead on and win this game. Let's go to science squares here. He has a 3-minute time advantage. I know he tipped off some moves here, but right now science squares is threatening to trade off some pieces here. You kind of get annoyed when you always have to worry about knight d6 check. But I wonder, well, you can't play a6 because there's a knight to b6 check. Oh, Cole, yeah, you said try reloading the game. I'm gonna try that. That's what I'm gonna do. Just didn't want to mess it up, but I will refresh the game here and see what happens. All right, so yes, that worked, Cole Yeti. That worked. Yeah, Adam. I would say, yeah, that b5. It's one of those moves where it looks so good that we just want to make it work. But in that position, remember our guy Devin, he had to win in a simpler way. So he didn't have to be fancy to take to win that game. Because he was going to be up a piece. So I think the time is going to take him to calculate. Plus, that does weaken up some of his king as well. He kind of simplified and said, hey, man, I'm just going to just win the piece and trade pieces down and take the long way around. And sometimes that's the mark of a good player. So right now, we're in trouble. Checkmate 101 is down in exchange here. So whatever she did and whatever she was thinking about, it did not work here. And man, this is tough. You have your down exchange. That was a nice little nifty move. I say that was nice, nifty move. Maybe you push here. What happens if you push, guys? And then push again? How about that? Checkmate, push. That's one of our only options. Oh, man. I wonder what happens. She could have literally pushed and put pressure. But then again, I know this is losing. for White, because White would have a chance to get back, but that would have put a little more pressure. So we lose one game there. Mark Hyman, our FIDE master, has won his game. So that's 1-1 here. See here. Science Squares. Man, this is even game. And Science Squares is up a minute here. What's up, doofus? Oh, okay. This is the captain of the Maryland team. What's going on? Nice to meet you. I don't, your name is Doofus. I hate to call you that. But that's your name there, I see. So shout out Doofus, the captain of the Maryland team, joining us here at Michigan Chess Association YouTube channel and our live stream for the State Cup. I am Coach Brian Wilson representing the Michigan Monsters. Science Squares, oh, you know what? Let's go to, let's go to, right now, let's go back. Okay, so Science Squares is thinking right now, this is probably just a straight draw. It's one of those positions that whoever tries to win loses. All you want to do is keep the position solid. I am guessing that he's going to go ahead and play this move rook. Oh, he does it this way. Okay. That makes sense. All right, Science Squares goes for the turtle defense, which that could be very dangerous. And White is trying to open up lines where the king is. And I think it's always an important idea to be active with your pieces. That's the best way to keep the equality, and look at White marching those pawns up. And you're probably going to have to play something like queen. Ooh, I don't even know. This is starting to look not so great for Science Squares. He's up 20 seconds, but the moves he's making are like, they're moves that are trying to run White's timeout. Those are not the moves you want to make. You want to make accurate moves, and then those moves are the kind of moves that run White's timeout, actually. You really have to watch out here. IWK is down to 9 seconds. Science Squares can check a couple times. Queen to D6 check. And probably queen. I wonder, can you play queen D2? There you go. Protecting the A5 pawn. Oh my God, look at that mate. Oh no. What a sacrifice there. Oh man. And we lose that game with a queen sacrifice mate. And then again, I say the turtle defense is usually a bad sign when you're not being active. Best way to draw a game equality is be active. You're going to get a perpetual check on your opponent's king as long as you're active. Now, Tony Nichols has to save us. We have 2 losses so far. Tony Nichols wins this game and we tie that round. If he loses, they beat us 3-1. And right now, I believe Black is winning this game because Black has the pass B4 pawn. But Tony he's going to have to figure out a way to try to draw this game if he can. How about queen takes here? This looks okay. So queen takes A5 here by Tony Nichols. That looks like a decent move. Queen takes A5, but he's going against the bishop pair, so he decides not to take the pawn on A5. He's going for the perpetual check. Maybe knight to H7 is his plan. That's actually a pretty decent plan there. Knight to H7 is his plan. So we need Tony Nichols to win this game so we can tie this round. Oh, shout out Jesse Wren is here with us, watching us live here. What's going on, Jesse? Jesse had a couple big wins for us in, I believe, the first or second week. Jesse, I'm looking forward to seeing your games soon. So right now, okay, so that was a good move. So Tony Nichols stopped the pin, bishop b7, attacking the pin bishop on g2, and he's also threatening queen takes f7 check. And that queen takes f7 cannot be stopped. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, it can. Queen f5 and then queen to g6 is the way to stop that. I'm wondering, actually, if he could have played queen to e8. Probably there was no threat there, actually, queen e8, but I guess queen d7 is a good move. Oh, and the big problem is if you go queen g6, we have bishop, bishop to e4, and this is a really good move by Tony Nichols. Yes, let's go. Shout out to the Maryland chess team, everybody who is watching this stream. Make sure you actually give us, Doofus, if you have the chess stream, the Maryland chess stream on your, or the link to that, please share that in the chat. I know, Adam, that was a move here for us. That was a move. Now, I thought maybe, okay, you might have had to move queen to e8, but I guess you want to stop the check. And then now, oh, but this is, Tony, you have to move. Oh my goodness, you have to move. Oh, Tony Nichols almost lost in time there. It's 7 seconds to 10 seconds. 6, 5. Where is he going to move? We got check here. That should do it. Yes. Yes. We win the last game. Tony Nichols comes back here. His position wasn't that great. He was going against the bishop pair, past b pawn, but comes back and finds the combination. Remember, the best combination when you're attacking the king is a knight and a queen, because the knight can do things the queen just can't do. And we see that with the game. Tony Nichols here. Good job, Tony. And that makes it 2-2 for us this round. Woo! After the first round, we win 3-1. We keep our 2-point advantage. This round, it was tied 2-2. So as I adjust the score, as I adjust, how do they say it in France when you adjust the piece? Adjube or something? I just say adjust, but I always thought it was really classy of my opponent to say adjube. All right, so we have 5, and now the lead is 5-3. Thank you for joining us here in the Michigan Chess Association YouTube channel. I am the coach, Brian Wilson, and I am your streamer every week. Oh, okay, Doofus, I see. So you're normally the streamer. Well, hey, if you got a link there, we should all follow each other. That's a good way to get followers up. If you throw your link up there, then we all will follow you and make sure that your subscribers are, at least you're gonna have at least one more subscriber, because I will follow you for sure. So make sure you share your link if you get it. Yeah, man, Cole Yeti, we won that. Tony pulled it out. Jeff Aldridge, our captain. He's the one who put together this team. He's also the Michigan Chess Association president. Shout out to Jesse. Jadoob. That's right. Jadoob. Jesse Wren says it's regular speech inference. Okay. All right, Cole Yeti. I understand putting the kids to bed. I know it's late. They have school in the morning, whether it's online or in person. I don't know. You guys do on? Are you guys doing online? Are your kids doing online classes or in person? What's going on? My son is at University of Michigan right now, and so he is doing some online and some in person. All right, shout out to Doofus, Chess Doofus on Twitch. Look him up and make sure you guys follow him. I'm gonna make sure I do that right when this stream is done. And we're gonna get right into our next games. Let me make sure I update these games here. We saved ourselves with that 2-2 draw. So we still have this 2-point advantage here. Updating these games. So right now we're looking at Clara McGrew, and she is playing the player Vishnu Shrikuman, I believe. So Vishnu and Clara McGrew playing right now. Claire is playing this classical Dutch again, and I actually think that she has a good position here. With this is what you want with the classical Dutch: a knight on e4. The other knight moves away. You're ready to play d5 at a moment's notice. Maybe she would play b7 here. Did she do that? I'm not sure. I don't know if b7 is a part of the theory. Putting the bishop on the long diagonal. Like that's what she's trying to do. Oh, she goes knight to c6. Makes a lot of sense because this knight can't move away without giving up the d4 pawn, and then you have knight to b4 as a threat too. So Clara, I like black in this position. Of course, white is better. White has the pair of bishops and a better space advantage, but I think black is fine here. Okay. As these games update, make sure you guys check out michess.org. michess.org is where you can find all the chess tournaments in Michigan, whether they're over the border or online. You can find them right there. There's a lot of online tournaments. Actually, Jeff, you look on michess.org right now, they have a Michigan Chess Club tournament. Plus, coming up soon is the Michigan Blitz tournament. I think I might be playing in that one. Michigan Quick tournament is well coming up online this month. So check out michess.org to see the details of those two tournaments. You got to play the Blitz, guys. You got to play the Blitz at least. Everyone got to play the Blitz. You got time for that. All right. Smorgasbord 69 versus Devin. I think Devin lost his last game. Devin might have lost both games if I'm not mistaken. Very tough games. Right now we're gonna look at. Let's go back through this opening here. And okay, so Devin is black here. And we see a Queen's Gambit decline here, and it's a Tarrasch. There we go. Looked like it changed to a certain, yeah. It was a Tarrasch, but yeah, you didn't give white the isolated pawns here. So these pawns are going to be a problem here. So I think white is much better here, if not winning here. These center pawns and this knight on e5 with the control over the c6 square, this looks very good for white here. Very good for white. And black has to be really, really careful in this position. Now he is up 3 minutes, but this is a position that I would take with white. For instance, like you can just play d5 here. White could just play d5 here, and what's wrong with this? I don't think anything's wrong with this, let alone bishop to a4, threatening knight c6. So this is gonna be, gotta watch out here. Got to watch out here. Okay, so sine squares did play bishop e7. f3 is played to solidify the e4 pawn. Yeah, white is pretty good here. I mean, pretty good. So he has to really, really watch it. Let's go to Claire McGrew. Her game, this is her Dutch defense. We looked at this already. Let's go to Tony Nichols here. We're going to go and look at the beginning. Thanks, everyone, for joining our live stream here, Michigan Chess Association. This is the State Cup, Michigan Monsters versus Maryland. And we're looking at Tony Nichols versus Net Income. Tony Nichols is actually playing. Net Income for their team is Josh Downey. Josh Downey is who he's playing here. Shout out to Josh Downey from Maryland's team. And Tony Nichols is white here. Of course, he starts with his patented bird opening. And there was a trade of bishops, so Tony Nichols has the bishop pair already. And when I look at this position, I think that white is pretty decent. He has good control over the e5 square. I think his plan is probably to go king h2 and then d3 and e4, gaining space in the center of the board. And he should be okay here. So I like white here. So that's a bird opening. So Mark Hyman has been winning his games, and he's been having 10-minute plus time advantages over his opponent. So he's been having really, really easy times here. Well, the first game he had some pressure on him, but he defended really well, and it wasn't many problems there. But right now he still has a time advantage over 3 minutes here. So this shows that Mark Hyman really knows what he's playing. He knows his openings really well. He brings the knight back to e3. You see there is a weakness on c6. Maybe Mark Hyman could take advantage of that here. Let's look at the opening, guys. I want to see the opening here. Okay, so this is a Queen's Gambit here. And this is a Slav, actually. A classical Slav here. And I actually, and he playing Queen c7. I actually like the move e5. I wish I could move this, but e5 is a good move because after pawn takes, you have the move. Actually, this might not be the position, is it? No, this is actually not the position. That's after g3. No, this is not the position. But all right, so Queen c7 makes sense. You want to be able to play c5 or e5 to attack the d4 pawn here. There's f3. So that's the move I was looking for. f3 was missing. And so, like, let's say we play a6, which we won't. Just making a move here. Or actually, e6 is better. So e6, then f3, then the move e5 here. Pawn takes here. And still a different position. It's a different way he played the Slav here. And the problem with this for black is this bishop is going to be stuck behind that pawn for a long time. And he's also down 5 minutes. I don't know what it is about Mark Hyman, but his time management is wonderful. He's getting back good positions, better positions, out of the opening, and he has a humongous time advantage every time. Shout out to everybody that's watching us here at the Michigan Chess Association live stream. This is the State Cup. We are up 5-3. You can see that right on top below the ticker. Actually, I updated, but I did not let you guys see it. So let me switch that for you. We are up 5-3. And that should update in a second. And notice on the top of the screen, that's the rosters. Our roster for the Michigan Monster and for the Maryland chess team. They don't have a name. I was thinking about a name for Maryland, like the Maryland Terrapins, because you know the Maryland Terrapins. I think that's a pretty cool name. I hope that a lot of teams should create a name like the Michigan Monsters, or not like the Michigan Monsters, but should have a team name, to get more excitement from people to watch it. So that is Squad to Death. Let's go back to the game. I think it was yes. So here we have Clara McGrew, 2100 player. She has black. She has got in the move F4. Now, usually when you get this move in, it's a good sign. What she wanted to do is go bishop to H3 and knight to G4, take, and then queen takes here. So it's almost like a Grand Prix attack that you would play against Sicilian defense with the black pieces, actually. So white does a good job. He wants to take away the knight here. Take it away from F6, so there is no bishop to H3 and then knight to G4. But I wonder if she can still do that. Bishop H3 after take. This rook can actually move over to the H file. So I would probably still play this move bishop to H3. And she does. She allows the capture of the knight, because the rook is going to be able to you want to be able to rook lift to the H6 file, and then the H file is going to be a problem. Big problem. All right, let's get Devin Kamenaris. He is Science Squares. He has a 3-minute lead. When we left this position, white had a great big space advantage, and white still does. Now, he has loosened up a little bit of the squares around the king, but I don't think that matters much. White's position is so dominant here. This is a great position here for white. Problem is, white is thinking a lot. So he's down 3 minutes in time. And this is not me, it's Tony Nichols. He has the white pieces. He played bird opening. You see that black occupied E4, so there probably will be no D3 because of knight C3 hitting the rook here, and just basically putting the knight on the outpost. So you don't want to kick this knight out that way. So at the moment, black has done a wonderful job with these knights here, which makes this bishop on C1 look silly. Really does. And he can't go bishop to B2, because after bishop takes B2, rook takes B2, there is a knight takes A4 move because the B3 pawn is pinned. This is a tough one here. I would actually look at playing F5 here, or G4 and F5. But Tony Nichols is thinking. He does have a little bit under 3 minutes of a time advantage. Let's go to our top board. This is Mark Hyman. And he is playing their second board, I believe, which is Mayor Locker. Mayor Locker. And look at Mark. Mark has just really nice control over the center. He has to figure out a place to put his bishop. But I guess you can go bishop to E2. I know the rook will be coming to the D file, so that might be something he's concerned about. Putting that rook on the same file as his queen here. I believe he'll be okay with bishop e2 and castle. Yeah, he should be okay with bishop e2 and castle. I don't know if he's thinking about trading here. That could be something that he's thinking. But he has a lot of time. He has over 6 minutes, so he doesn't have to rush at all. It's still the opening. And I believe that he's going to just go bishop e2 and get castle here and have no problems at all. So, go back to Devin Camaneris, who has more than a 4-minute lead here with black, but he is worse in this position. Can't say it any differently. This position is very bad for black. Look at the big space advantage. Actually, it's so bad, I think white can actually attack on the king side as well and open some things up if he wanted to do that. So black has control over this game. But Devin has more than 4 minutes to figure out a defense to this. Probably it's best to just probably trade this here. Maybe if we just go rook to c8 and just get some of this stuff off, then, and that's what you want to do when you're getting squoze and you're down in space. A couple trades will relieve your cramped position. And I think he should play rook f to c8 and try to trade some pieces to get some room. Right now, it looks very bad. Adam, you said update the Hyman game. Oh, is this game further along? Let me see. Oh, wow. I don't know why it does that. That's crazy. Okay, so this is definitely okay. You know what? I know what I did. I actually moved the pieces and I didn't move them back. That's what happened, Adam. Sorry. All right. So Mark had this big space advantage. Okay. Okay, yeah, I do remember this position now. Okay. And just a simple rook d2. He's controlling the d file, and now we're updated. This is just better for white. White controls the d file here. Both bishops are not that great. Bishop on e2 or bishop on g6. I wonder if he's gonna look to move this knight to a better square here. I will look to actually play g4 and h4 myself, almost similar to the game that Devin is in. So I'm looking to attack this bishop and use my extra pawn, because there's a pawn majority on the king side. I can use my extra pawn to cause trouble on black's king side, especially with this queen that's kind of out of play. The queen is out of play here. Plays rook e8. Maybe the plan is to play rook to e6, maybe. But Mark Hyman doesn't have a problem here. I'm not saying black is losing, but white is pretty comfortable in this position. Okay. All right, so this is, we're back to Tony Nichols here. And Tony played, if we go back here, after 94, okay. So he played queen e2. I don't know what his plan is here, because he still can't play d3 because of the fork, knight c3, hitting the queen and b1. Rook here. But maybe he wanted to move his queen out of the way. Or actually, maybe he just wants to take the knight with the bishop. Maybe that's something he wants to do. I don't know. It could be also c4. Could be a move. I am not sure what his plan is. He still can't play bishop e2 because there will be a knight takes a4, winning that material. Maybe there's a queen c4 actually bishop takes. I don't know. Maybe he's really thinking ahead after bishop b2. Bishop takes b2, rook takes b2, and then knight takes no, that's wrong. So I don't know what queen e2 is. He's just moving his queen away from this file. Maybe he wants to open it up with the f1 rook instead of having this queen in front. I'm not sure. All right, let's look at Claire McGrew's game here. Make sure it's caught up. We left her when she played bishop to h3. Bishop to h3 was played, knight takes, rook takes. And okay, so bishop to f3 is played. She moves the queen back. And now rook to e1, and then rook to e8. That's interesting here. Rook to e8 is played. I'm leaning more towards rook f8. And then rook d5, and then bishop, okay, bishop to f5, hits the queen. Bishop to e4, and then Claire takes on g3 first, opens up the f file, and now List ZT85 was thinking about which pawn to take with. He takes with the h pawn. This is coming down to the last minutes. They both have 4 minutes. So this is some game we're gonna have to revisit. See, Claire is threatening rook to h6, threatening queen h2 check. Takes here. I wonder if he goes queen to e4. There he goes, stopping the threat of rook to h5. Now I'm anticipating the move rook f8, hitting the f2 pawn. I mean, this is going to come back to that game. All right, science squares and smorgasbord. This is also coming down to the wire. Both players are down to 3 minutes. Smorgasbord has a great position here. I mean, you could just hold this position. Look, he's played rook g1, going to open up the g file here. I must say, Smorgasbord is playing this really, really well. The only thing he's doing not that great is time management. Trying to be perfect with the moves, but he has built a great position here. Let's go to squat to Death Mark Hyman. He has a 2-minute lead, so IWK caught back up in a little bit of time, but it looks like Mark Hyman is doing a good job anyway. Still have control over the D file. Bishops are still not that great. He has his queen on this weak square. He would like to put a knight on that square if he could. But I think black is okay here. Black isn't that bad. These knights are not that bad because they defend a lot of squares. But I see Mark Hyman's biggest plan is to play g4 and maybe g5 or g4 and h4. So IWK has to watch out for that. Mark Hyman cannot play, well, he could play, f4 could be played too. So wow, what a move there. b4. And here Mark Hyman plays knight to b1. You gotta watch this queen. This queen is running out of good squares here. There's also a hanging a6 pawn here. And if that bishop gets out, that's gonna be, you're gonna have to cancel Christmas on this game. So let's go to these other games here. Net income against This Is Not Me. Tony Nichols has 3-minute time advantage. What happened? Okay, so he brought his queen to e1 so he can kick the knight out and not allow knight to c3. Makes sense. And now it's Tony Nichols' turn now. There's a really good knight here entrenched on e4. He looks like he might not want to. Maybe he's thinking about giving up his bishop here. It might be worth it here. That knight is very strong there, and another knight is coming to back it up. Yeah, he did get rid of that, but he does have this bishop here on d2 that's stuck. It's not in a good position. So I'm anticipating bishop to d2 and maybe b4, and that should open up his bishop here on c1. And so I believe this is going to come down to it, but Tony Nichols has a big time advantage. Shout out to everybody who's following us in the live stream here at Michigan Chess Association YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe and like and share. All right, Clara McGrew. She's been having big time trouble issues here. Big issues. Looks like she's looking to swing the rook over, maybe? Maybe she's looking to swing the rook over to h6. This is a lot of tension in this position. Let's go to Devin Camaneras. He's up 1 minute. And what happened here? All right, so he's up 1 minute. There is a knight on c6 hitting his rook on d8. He plays rook c6. I think I'm anticipating g5. Why not? Oh, the reason why is after take. No. Queen takes. Man, g5 still looks good. Oh, he plays e5 here. Devin, it's looking very tough here. That forked 2 pieces, but he's still on the knight. Wow, Smorgasbord has 39 seconds. He plays g5, trying to open up the g file here, so he doesn't take the knight right away. I guess that makes some sense, because he wanted to pry open that g file more than take the knight on f6. Oh man, Clara has 46 seconds left, and what is happening here? It's tied up. It's a knight versus a bishop. There is a isolated e pawn, so Clara has the worst of it. But in this endgame, if you look at it, there is a potential for a pass pawn on Black's king side. So Clara is utilizing this isolated pawn by gaining more space. He's offering a trade of rooks. She has 43 seconds here. Tony Nichols, he is up 2 minutes. We will come to that game a little later. They have more time. Mark Hyman is pretty much winning this game. Only 4 seconds there. He should win that game. Let's go back to Devin's game here. He has a minute to Smorgasbord's 23 seconds. And man, he's thinking like, should he take? But I thought, okay, so he does take, and then man, Smorgasbord had to make a quick move here. Wow. Maybe a5 here. Kicking the knight back. He does trade. Rook, maybe rook to d8 or a5 first. Devin has 36 seconds. Check a little bit in on the. Clara has 38 seconds here. I'm going to try to bounce from game to game here. Oh my goodness. This is even here. So I think it's going to get a little more time. This is going. Oh, what happened? The blunder. Devin loses a piece. I do not know how that happened, but he is up 2 pawns, though he has 2 pawns for the piece. And the white's king is very bad, so he should definitely be looking for a perpetual check. So queen, I don't like this move. I thought he could play queen b5, threatening queen checkmate. Queen b5 would have threatened the knight and a checkmate. Still, he should play queen b5 here. He does. There's a checkmate threatened here on f1. Smorgasbord takes a lot of time here. That's a nice move here. And then queen takes h4. Devin has. What is he doing? Wait, what did he do? He could have won the pawn with a check. Okay, he could do it again. He will win the pawn with a check. Oh, I see. The queen covers that. So he didn't want to do that. Okay, and then queen check. He's going to try to pick up the knight with a check here. He did it. No. He didn't do it. It doesn't pick it up because of knight to e3. That's a nice move here. That's an excellent move. Maybe queen check. There we go. Oh, he takes a pawn with check. Smorgasbord has 1 second. He has 3 seconds. Science Square is down to 9 seconds. Push this. Gotta play something. B5, play it. Oh no, you gotta play something. Okay, Devin, he does play something finally. There's gonna be a perpetual check here. Maybe he goes to E7 here. Go to E7. No, he doesn't want to go to E7. Will he take the draw? He does take the draw. So let's go to Claire McGrew game. What happened here? Okay, so Clara does win this game. Let's go to Tony Nichols' game. Tony Nichols has 1 minute. 1 minute left. Net income has 35 seconds. Material is even. But I will say Tony Nichols' bishop looks like trash. It does. It looks like trash. So he's going to have to bring this bishop out. Bishop to E1. Bishop to G3. That's why he played the G4 move. To improve the bishop now. There he goes. He's going to improve that bishop. You have to watch it. Now, bishop G3. You're going to have to play rook to B1 to protect, because he's going to play rook B6. Oh, actually, he cannot play rook B6. He cannot play rook B6. I would let him do that. What happened? Oh, okay. I see what he did here. He allowed rook B6. Okay. So now rook E2 maybe. Or okay. I see. Uh-oh. Now probably rook to F1. I think we have 2 wins already. Clara won his game. No, we have a draw. Mark has won his game, so that's 2.5 for us. We have 2 wins and a draw so far. Yeah, Tony has to get rid of this terrible bishop here. Get it outside the pawn chain. Probably now is the time to do it. Bishop to G3. Then if he trades, you're gonna be able to bring the knight to G3. Come on, Tony. It's not that hard. Come on, man. There you go. He does it. And now the knight gets an outpost on F5. There we go. Now, oh, he stops the outpost. I don't know if that was actually necessary there. I think Tony kind of panicked on that. That was not necessary. And now he is getting beat by a better king. Black has a better king here. Black has a better king here. And now this is looking more, Tony could just hope to have a draw in this position, which will win us the match. That will win us the match, a draw. I think that would be 3-1 if we had a draw here. I wonder if he could check with the other players to see what they need, but that's a draw there. Yes, so that's a draw. So Tony Nichols draws. Science Square's draw. So that's 1 for us. Then we win the game here. Claire McGrew wins this game, and then Mark Hyman wins his game with white. So let's go through the Claire McGrew game. I do not know what happened in that game. I want to see, how did she win this game here? It was a knight versus bishop. Looks like there was a pass pawn created. Oh, there it goes. And he takes the piece instead of stopping the pass pawn. And that pass pawn cannot be stopped, and that's how Clara wins the game. So we have 3 points there. We have 3 points there. And that's another 3-1 score. And that's big time for us after drawing the last round. And so that's going to give us 8, I believe. Yes, that should give us 8. Two wins and 2 draws. So we have 8. There's a total of 16 games. So the worst thing that can happen to us is a tie. If we lose all of these games, it will be a tie. They need to sweep us in order to tie the match. If we get 1 draw, we win. All we need is 1 draw to win the match. But of course, we want to win by as many as possible because of tie breaks when it comes to being matched up against other teams as far as our standings in the league. All right, 8-4. All we need is 1 draw to clinch the match. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't give them their points here. Uh-oh. I gave them a 1. It's actually 8-4. And we're back. Make sure we update all of our live games. So now all the players are playing they're matched up against their level, their strength on the next team. So Maryland's 4th board will play our 4th board, and 1st board versus 1st board. So let's give me a second while I update all of the games here. And actually, while I update, enjoy this little commercial, and we'll be back in about, I would say, 1 minute. All right, here we go. We are back. Give you guys a chance to use the bathroom if you need to. All we need is a score, a draw. And we will win our match versus Maryland. Jeff, if you're out there, let us know who do we play next week so I can let all the people know what to expect next week. We have been through almost all the teams. I don't know if that many more teams left to get to the playoffs. And I'm pretty sure we should make it. We're still in first place. I don't know about how much of a lead we have. I think Maine was pretty high up. I think they were, or Ohio was undefeated when we played them. Right now we're looking at squat to death play net income. This is their top player versus our top player, FIDE Master Mark Hyman, who's rated a little bit under 2,500. Hey guys, 2,500 is the minimum rating you need to be a Grandmaster plus 12 norms. I don't think he has any Grandmaster norms, but he is on his way. He is actually, I think Mark has only lost one game in the State Cup so far. And that was to Grandmaster Mackenzie Molnar when we played New Jersey. And all the other games he's won pretty convincingly. So he's been doing a really good job so far in the State Cup. Right now he's playing net income. Let's go through the opening. Mark Hyman is black. And looks like this is an exchange, but this is like a London system or a Jobava attack here, actually. And notice how black trades off all those pieces. He knows that all he needs is a draw. And so he's going to play us a solid position. Not that he's playing for a draw. It's good to know that you have that in hand in case you need it. And so he simplified the position. And this looks like if anybody could be better, it has to be black. Look at the nice knight on c4. Nice outpost. The attack on the a6 rook here. Okay, so just to update everybody, Michigan, we are number 1. How many games? We have 69 points, I believe. I don't know what they're showing. But we're okay, so I see. So we have 3 points, and New York, we beat New York bad head to head, but they are tied with us, even though we're number 1 because we have more game points than them, or better tie breaks at least, because we beat them head to head. We beat New York 12-4 or something like that. And New Jersey, another team who we tied. That was the first team we played. They're behind us. They have 2.5. Pennsylvania, we haven't played Pennsylvania yet, so that has to be. And Massachusetts is Pennsylvania is actually 4th place. They have 2 points. Maryland is 2nd. Ohio is 7th. Maine is 7th. And then the last place team is Massachusetts. So we still have to play Massachusetts. So hopefully we can rack up points and make it clear. But New York is actually tied with us with match points, even though we should have the tiebreaker because we beat them head to head. So it's still, all these games are going to be very, very important coming up, but we only have 2 more games left in the State Cup. Thanks, Jeff, for sharing those standings. Shout out to Jeff. And that next game is Thursday. Next Thursday, that's the 15th versus Massachusetts. Now, we can't look ahead now. We have to take Massachusetts serious, but I believe we're going to have James Canty back, maybe. Or maybe we'll give more rest. It depends on what Jeff thinks about the roster. Hey, we got to have coach of the year. Jeff could be coach of the year because we came into the State Cup as underdogs, Going in the East Division against New Jersey, chess culture, New York, chess culture, Pennsylvania, chess culture, Maryland, that DuPont Circle, the chess culture there. And we're in first place. And we also beat that Ohio team too. So Jeff has to get consideration for Coach of the Year. Okay, so yes, next Thursday we are playing Massachusetts, but then that Monday after that we play Pennsylvania. So right back to back, 15th of this month we will be playing Massachusetts, and then the 19th we'll be playing Pennsylvania, and then that's it. It'll be time for the playoffs, and I can't wait until the playoffs. You know, those are the games that, you know, you guys cannot miss. Now, remember, guys, all we need is a score to win this match. I wonder who New York played today. Because, you know, maybe if they, you know, we want to make sure we score more than them if we can. So right now we're up 8-4. If we can put as much distance between us and our New York, that'll be to our benefit. Right now, we see Tony Nichols. He is down 3 minutes against IWK. He played, of course, his famous Dutch defense, but I actually think his position is pretty solid. I think his position is pretty good here. I know White has some pretty good space on the queen side, but I think Tony his position is good enough to equalize for sure. He's threatening knight f6. Okay, so he did play queen to. Now I was wondering about this move. But I think maybe he's going to play queen c6, which is hard to move to play because after queen c6, there is knight takes g6. Because if queen takes g6, then there's queen takes d7. So you got to watch that. Maybe rook a6. Oh, he did play queen c6. I wonder if he could play knight takes g6 right now. So Tony has to figure that out. And after take, maybe you get the pawn back on d7. Maybe, I'm not sure, but this is going to be something Tony's going to have to think about. IWK is going to have to think about this where he can steal a pawn with knight takes g6. So to Claire McGrew, she is up in time this time. Most of her games she's been down in time, but right now she's up in time. We see it's even material. Now, wait a minute. So queen e2, she's attacking the knight on b4. She's offering him the chance to take on a7, but that would be a huge mistake because of the move c3, which double attacks the knight on a2. Knowing Clara so far, I believe she's gonna try to really attack the king while it's in the center. Now, right now, by the way, Clara's king is in the center, and Clara still hasn't developed a bishop here on f1, so she has to be very careful here. But she has a big time advantage here, and Black he's in the think tank. Let's go to Devin here. Devin has had a tough tournament so far. He came out with a draw after being down a piece. So that was a big score for Devin. Devin Camaneres, formerly from New York, moved here to Michigan, and now is representing Michigan on the state team. We see right here, you see Black has the pair of bishops here. I still haven't seen any games where our players or any players have utilized the bishop pair. I've seen a lot of pair of bishops, but I haven't seen anyone really utilize the pair of bishops today, which this has been the theme in almost all of our previous matches, is the utilization of the pair of bishops. Right now, I think Black actually, he has a chance to turn that tide because his bishops are looking really good, especially where it's aiming here to the king side. And so he opens up that bishop even more on c8. So I might have spoke too soon against Devin. But I think Devin is okay. You're looking at moves like knight to d3. If you're going against the bishop here, you like to trade one of them off. It makes it a more manageable situation if you can do that. So knight to d3, make the bishop go back here. Got knight to d5 here. Maybe even rook to d1. So you have some pretty good moves here for white. I think white is okay here. C6 was played. I don't know if you have to even do anything. Actually, I don't know if I would have even taken that. Okay, so what Devin is doing here, he played this rook d1. Is he concerned about giving up this free pawn here? I wonder. Because that pawn is free. Maybe queen to d2 is his plan. I guess you got rook f6. That was a free pawn there. Now Devin is threatening to remove one of the pair of bishops. Devin is up a minute, so it should be fine. Let's go to Mark Hyman. Look at the outpost he has for this knight on c4. This is a pretty even game, but of course, like I said, if we are able to score anything, a draw, a win, we win the match. Right now, white is double attacking the d5 pawn. I don't know, we could play knight to b6. He does. If g4, I think you're going to be able to get knight to d6 in, where you have knight to c4. So this is no problem for Mark. He has a 2-minute lead as well, so he's always up in time. Tony Nichols is actually down 4 minutes, and actually what we talked about before it happened. That queen c6 probably wasn't as good as rook. Oh, we couldn't play that, so I'm sorry. I thought we could play rook a6, but queen takes e8 is a blunder. So had to play queen c6 and give up a pawn, looks like. Yep, so he does take. And now he's looking to see if he should take on, but he can't take on d3. Ah, so he plays rook a2. That makes a lot of sense. You're threatening rook takes d3, and maybe you're going to be able to get the rooks on the 7th rank. Queen to h5, double attacking the h2 pawn. That's on the docket. As well as queen to e2. Gotta watch out for a pass pawn. You can make a pass pawn here with e4. Tony Nichols is in a good position. Only thing I don't like is the time. His time is low. He's down by 4 minutes there. Clara McGrew, who actually is up 4 minutes in time. This is the position that she likes. Right now, she is behind a little bit in development here, but she has this really nice space advantage. Right now, pressure is being put on her d4 pawn. She's thinking of how to handle this. Maybe knight. I wonder what would happen with knight to g5. Probably bishop to d5. So maybe that doesn't do anything. This is almost like a Grunfeld position, but it's kind of open. So I would say rook to d1. Why not? Rook d1. You solidify the d4 pawn. You're ready to castle on the next move. I think rook d1, queen b6. And then castle, rook d8. Oh, but rook d8 is coming. Oh, so queen b6 and then d5. So yeah. So rook to d1, queen b6, and then probably d5. Maybe you can get away with that. Rook d8, c4. I'm not sure. But she should be okay, and she has more than 3 minutes of time advantage here. Devin Camaneras here. I want to see Devin get a win here. I want him to get on the board. Now, right now, these bishops here, and it doesn't look so great for Devin because these bishops are going to cause havoc. Remember, I talked about a lack of I didn't see people use the imbalance of the bishop pair in this match with Maryland, like I have in all the other matches, especially when James Canty played and also Mark Hyman, some of his games. I haven't seen that imbalance used. As soon as I say that, Black has the first game where the bishops are dominating this game here. First game here. Man, this is tough. This is tough stuff here. I'm looking at moves like queen to c7. Threatening knight takes g3. I don't even know if you might can do knight takes g3 anyway. I'm not sure. There is a knight h6 check. I don't know if that does anything, but I'm looking at this knight takes move here. Yeah, and so you gotta watch it with these bishops are just so good when you get them on good diagonals, and I could just see them opening up. So he has to watch it here. But the problem is Devin has a 4-minute time advantage in. List 85 is just taking his time thinking about it. I would play something like queen c7. I would play something like queen c7 for sure. I'm even wondering if he could even play knight to h4. So he has so many options here to think about, but he's taking his time. All right, back to Mark Hyman. Mark Hyman is actually now down in time. This is probably the first time in any game he's been down in time. And he's gonna give up the d5 pawn for the d4 pawn. And like I said, any type of draw, we win the match. Because we are up 8-4, 8.5 points, win the match. This is not me. This is Tony Nichols. He is actually down some time in about 2 minutes. White has 2 passed pawns. That's not looking good for us. And there's pressure on this f5 pawn. Tony is looking like he might be in some trouble here. And Claire McGrew, she actually plays, what happened here? D5 was played. So she went knight d5. He did not move the bishop. He allowed the capture of the bishop. Maybe his low time has something to do with that, and d5 forks the 2 pieces. And there we go. And so now white is down a piece, but there is a problem. The king is stuck in the center. And now I think black is just going to play a move like rook e8. So you can't castle, or you're going to give back the bishop. Or even queen to e3, stopping castling right now. I think I might be entertaining and giving back the bishop because this position is so, like this position is going to be bad position for black. If white can't get the piece into the game or can't get the rook into the game, why play this position? I would actually take that. And then after queen takes e2, I would probably take on f5 or take on c6. Maybe take on c6 right now is the move. But I might want to give this up here. I don't think I want to. I don't want to. Yep. So she does that. Excellent move. That's a really nice move because after queen takes e2, we have queen takes f5, and that's an excellent decision for her to give that piece back. The good thing about having a piece is being able to give it back, and that's what Clary McGrew did there, and that shows some experience and some leadership. So excellent move there by Claire. Devin Haminares, we want him to get his first win. I believe he needs it. I don't think he's won anything yet, but I will say this: these bishops are starting to look like a problem. They're starting to look like a problem. He might be able to play the move knight to d. Well, I don't know if you want. Do we really want to go knight d5? I don't know what his plan is with the queen a2, but I would really love if he was able to trade these pieces off. Maybe rook e1 with the idea of knight to e6, trading one of those bishops. Don't have to worry about this anymore. So Devin is thinking about this. He's up 2 minutes, so he has enough time to think about it. I wonder if he's thinking about rook to b7, hitting the bishop here. I don't know if I don't think he's gonna have any pressure down this rank right now. You really have to be alert for all the tactics that's around your king with the bishops on the diagonal. So you have to be alert. Like, I am not sure that knight takes g3 and queen to d6 is just not a good move. I'm just not so sure. He plays queen to c2. I don't know what his plan is. Maybe his plan is to go to maybe d3, protecting the g3 pawn. I don't know what his plan is right now, but it's a solid move. He protects the c4 pawn. At least he does that. List 85 has to think of how he's gonna black crush and actually try to win the game. So, and he's been using his clock a lot. Net income from Squat to Death. They have a draw. So Squat to Death wins the match for us. So we have officially won the match here with a draw. A draw by Mark Hyman. That gives us 8.5, and we have officially beat the Maryland chess team. IWK has 4 minutes, and oh my God, I knew his position was pretty bad, and Mr. Nichols he's having a bad time here. He's down 4 pawns here. Now what he's trying to do now is create some holes around the king. H4, maybe even H3. But IWK has so much time, though, he can figure it out. So that's probably gonna be IWK is winning. That one should go ahead on to win that. Clara, oh man, she does give back the piece, but what she does, she gives up the second rank to double rooks. Now, right now, she's threatening checkmate with rook to b8. Okay, so she should be okay. She should be. I think that, well, black should probably play h6. What h6 does, he does, it stops rook to g5, protecting the g2 pawn. Oh, and I think Black is much better here. Black is probably winning this game here with the double rooks. Man, lucky for us, we got that draw because 2 of these games is not looking so good for us. And Checkmate, she had a big time advantage here. Now, oh, what happened here? So Devin won. Did he win the game? Wait, yeah, he wins the game. So Devin does win the game. Oh, I guess. Oh, List runs out of time. So he runs out of time here. And so we get the win there. We probably should stay on the checkmate game. This should be better for Black. This should be winning for Black here. I do like the H5 move. I do like the H5 move here. So the plan is to go rook to... Yeah, the plan is to go rook to F8 and checkmate on H8. But as soon as you move this rook away, the pawn on H5 is going to drop. I think it's going to play rook to G2. I thought maybe rook D to G2 and then rook takes A2 would have threatened checkmate, right? So rook G2 check and then rook takes A2. You win a pawn and you threaten checkmate at the same time. All right, so she gets a draw out of that, which is great. So we get a draw. We got 1 point there. Now we go to Nichols. Nichols has 26 seconds. He's looking for he's looking for a magic trick to get out of this position. Down 4 pawns, or actually now down 3 pawns here. Take it 1 pawn at a time. And this pawn is just rolling. It's running the 40-yard dash in 2.2 seconds. But that was a pretty good move here. Does Tony Nichols have enough to perpetually check? And if you can get out of this with a draw, oh man. Mark Hyman, so we have 2 draws so far and a win, so that gives us 2 points. Now, is there a perpetual check here? That is the question. Is there a perpetual check? If there is, then we get a draw here, and I think we would get... I don't know. How many would we have here? We would have 3 draws and a win, so that's 2.5. I don't think we've had a round where we had so many draws. Yep, there it goes. So that's the perpetual. Good job, Tony. Yes. Good job. Yes. And we draw this game. Oh, my goodness. All right. So that's going to give us, we have Science Squares won his first game. So we get a win there. Clara McGrew draws her game. Tony Nichols draws his game. And FIDE Master Mark Hyman draws his game. So that gives us 2.5. 2.5 there to 1.5. And let me update the score here. So that 2.5 is going to give us 10.5 for the match. Remember, you only need 8.5 to win the match. And Maryland has 5.5. And there we go. That should update for us. And so we still are in first place. We have someone behind us, New York. We played them, we beat them, but they also have 3 points as well as us. And we're in first place because of the tie breaks favor us because we beat them head to head. So we win. We beat Maryland today, 10.5 to 5.5. Remember, let me go down the line. We're going to play on the 15th. This is Thursday. Next Thursday, 15th of October, we will be playing Massachusetts. And then on the 19th, on Monday, October 19th, we'll be playing Pennsylvania. And that should be the last of the State Cup regular season. And then we are going to go into the playoffs. And we will let you guys know what the playoff schedule is. Make sure you guys that follow us, make sure you share and subscribe to this channel, like the video, and tell all your friends about what we're doing here in Michigan Chess Association YouTube channel. We also have Michigan Chess Association all social media platforms, Twitter, Facebook. The Facebook group is on fire with all the posts and the interaction we have there. And for all the chess information that you need, whether it's in the past archives or for future chess tournaments online, or if there will be any over-the-board tournaments during this pandemic, you should always check out michess.org. And if you check out that, you will see that we have 2 upcoming tournaments: the Michigan Speed Tournament, which is normally in person, but now we have it online. That's going to be there. Michigan Blitz Tournament. You can see the dates on michess.org. Plus, there's a Michigan Quick Tournament as well, and that's on michess.org. For the Michigan Monsters, congratulations on your win today against Maryland. For the Michigan Monsters and our coach and captain and Michigan president, Jeff Aldrich, I am Brian Wilson, Implodian out.